Okay, folks, welcome to the best stock pick video. Before we get into the charts of the stocks that we're looking to trade in the coming week, let's just go over a couple of stocks that we closed out. How did we do last week? We booked 3 profits last week, no losses. That doesn't mean we aren't down on one position. We are down on one position. However, we'll be looking to add to that position, which happens to be a short position in the coming week or weeks, and we'll plan on adding to that aggressively. In fact, it is one of our best stock picks, and I'll get to that in a moment. All right, first stock up is TNK Tankers. We closed out this trade with a 13.7% profit. We did have a higher profit. However, we lost a little bit of it on this pullback. And in dollar terms, that's $5,900. The other position that we closed out was Aberdeen Chili Fund. This was an extreme oversold trade. We accumulated a position through this pullback here. And the ETF subsequently rallied. This is an ETF on Chile. A lot of miners in this stock, therefore a lot of shorts in the underlying positions. So we booked profits on Friday with a 4% profit, or in dollar terms, $2,750. And the last position that we closed, I'm going to do videos, individual videos on each of these trades. They'll be coming out over the course of the next week or so. I do fall behind on them. It's just a lot of work, to be honest with you. But I do get them up there because people, they want to see how I trade. So I think there's value in doing them. The other position that I closed out on Friday was Zoomies, symbol ZUMZ. This was an extreme oversold stock. RSI was below 15. We built a position down here on these bottoming tails, sign of support. The stock gapped up on Friday. The reason why I booked profits, and we did make a 7% profit, but in dollar terms, we could have made more. We only booked a $3,600 profit. And the reason I didn't have a bigger position is because of this looming 50-day moving average crossing below the 200-day moving average. Or the death cross. That's a technical breakdown. And as you can see, sellers came in late in the day and they sold into strength in anticipation of this crossover, plus you have resistance up here. So it always goes back to my old adage, first out, best out. We booked our profits early on Friday, and that was last week's trades. Let's move forward to the best stock picks for the coming week. Okay, before I get into these symbols, understand that on Sundays, to my premium members, I send out 2 videos. One is the market pulse check. I review all the charts as I'm doing with you right now, but I go over all the indexes and the sectors, the major sectors and the bond market, just to see where the market stands. Is it overextended? Is the path of least resistance to the upside or the downside? Because we know that 80% of all stocks will trade with the major indexes. So we always want to take a look on Sundays at where the markets stand. And then on the second video is the focus stocks video. I'll touch upon all the stocks I'm going to mention to you today. However, I'm going to go into the weekly, and in some cases monthly charts, plus the intraday chart, and more in-depth analysis of the daily charts. Add to that, we want to discuss the catalysts. What are the catalysts that are going to propel the stocks higher? Or if we're looking to short, what is the catalyst to send the stock lower? So that's what we discuss on the premium commentary. So you would need to be a member. That comes out on Sunday. And every Sunday that comes out. Plus you get the midweek market pulse check. That comes out every Wednesday. All right, so let's take a look at the daily charts of the stocks we're looking to trade. AMD, Advanced Micro Devices. You can see that AMD is putting in higher lows. We broke through this secondary downtrend line. Now we're looking at the primary downtrend line as resistance. So we'll be looking to build a position of AMD in the market pulse check video. I will be going over the chart of the semiconductors index. It looks like they're ready to break out. So we'll be looking to build a position in AMD in the coming week. Volume is a bit of a concern, very light volume. We're making higher highs in the ultimate oscillator. Double bottom setup on Williams percentage R. So I think the stage is set for a move higher on AMD, and I will be sending out trade alerts to my members on all my trades. Next stock up is American Axle and Manufacturing, symbol AXL. Good consolidation here. I believe that we're probably going to see a continuation breakout, and we will look to build a position in Axle. Volume to the upside rose on Friday. Looks like we have the setup for a potential double bottom setup on Stochk RSI and the Williams percentage R. This chart here was actually a recommendation. I offer a service called Trade Coach, and it's free of charge to premium members. And basically, you send in a symbol, and I give you my opinion of the stock chart. You need not tell me which direction you're looking to go. I just give you an honest opinion of what I'm seeing. Is it best to be long or short, or do nothing and avoid? So in this case here, this was a request from a fellow member, and I liked it. So I decided I would share it with the other members, and that's the value of a community in a trading circle, not a chat room. A chat room that causes impulse buying. So I'm against chat rooms, and maybe for you, it's not right for me as an individual. I like to do my homework on stocks after trading hours and on the weekends. That way I go into the next business day with a strategy of how I am going to trade a stock so that I do not impulse buy. That is the key, or one of the keys, to being a profitable trader. So GORO, back to the charts. I have a habit of being long-winded. I apologize. Gold Resource Corp. We're not seeing a breakout on RSI yet, but what you're seeing is a double bottom setup and a possible, almost a saucer with handle, well, I guess more of a cup with handle formation. And I think it's getting set ready for a breakout. And we did have a breakout back here. We rallied up to the declining downtrend line, pulled back on this failure. We had a topping tail, and then we subsequently broke out, rallied up to 529, pulled back, and we're now retesting the prior resistance level, which happens to be now support. Nice little doji star formation on Friday, which is a sign of indecision on rising up volume. So there's more research that needs to be done on the stock, intraday setups, and an action plan for when we want to buy, or if we're going to buy. And I'll be going over that with members on Sunday. Next stock up is CYBX. I put this on StockTwits. I called for a short on this stock, and you can see that since that call, we pulled back from a high of 71.93 down to a low of 63.85. Nice little bottoming tail on Friday. That does not mean the coast is all clear. I like the catalyst that could propel this stock higher. I'll discuss that with members. I think we're going to consolidate sideways, possibly pull back a little bit further to a support level. However, we'll take a look at the intraday charts, and we'll form a strategy for CYBX. I think the selling is almost done, and we'll look to get long. Good volume on Friday. Ultimate oscillator is a bit of a concern. I don't like choppy action on my oscillators. Slow stochastics is a bit of a concern. So you'll see a little bit of choppy action here as well. I like smooth bottom surfaces and looping up breakouts, not this chop. It's just not a good sign. So the coast is not all clear yet for CYBX. It really needs to prove itself, but I do like it. I also like the catalyst that will propel it higher. TZA. This is one that we have a position in. I'll be frank with you. And, people come out and they say, we're making so much money on our long trades. My competitors, however, they won't talk to you about their trades that aren't doing well. TZA, to be frank with you, is not treating us all that well. I have to be honest. That being said, I think that this market, after the first of the year, is going to correct. I think it's not going to happen prior to the first of the year due to the fact that Bernanke has his legacy to worry about, besides its seasonality. And you may be saying, what does Bernanke have anything to do with it? Well, he's leaving office. And he's done the bidding for the White House and Congress. They have been able to slack off on their fiscal responsibilities to the American people, and Ben Bernanke's been there to pick up the slack for them. He's carried their water. They will not allow this market to decline ahead of his departure. And it may not even go down the first week of his departure, but whenever you take a look at Janet Yellen, you ought to see a lamb being led to slaughter. That's what I look at when I take a look at her on TV, a lamb being led to slaughter. Because take a look at this chart of the Russell 2000. Weekly chart. We are making higher highs, yet the RSI on the Russell 2000 is making lower highs. Never good. Never good. So we were up almost 4% last week. And take a look at your slow stochastics. Like a overcoiled spring, and it's just ready to pop and break down. MACD went negative. I'm looking for a breakdown on money flow, which has been in a decline. In fact, let's do an overlay of money flow versus price. And for those not familiar with the TZA, which I still happen to be talking about, the TZA is a leveraged ETF which puts you short of the Russell 2000. It's not for everybody. High risk, very volatile. Back to the Russell 2000 and how it's performing on a weekly basis. We're making lower highs on RSI. We're trending down on money flow, yet the price action continues higher. That is not healthy. So it's my expectation that we will begin to see a breakdown in this market after the first of the year. As of right now, politically, it will not happen. And it's seasonality. Seasonally, this is a strong year for the stock market because nobody on Wall Street is working. The computers are in charge. The algorithms are in charge. They're pre-programmed to keep this market biased to the upside or trending sideways. Next stock up is STRI. We traded this one back in September of 2012. We booked profits on STRI. We were stopped out. I went back and I did some research on this because I knew it struck a chord. We utilized a trailing stop loss order. We got stopped out with a 10% gain. So it was a nice little trade. And it just goes to show you that stocks that are weak tend to get weaker. And here you have STRI in a death spiral. And I love death spirals. And I'll go over the fundamentals with members tomorrow to make sure we have no ongoing concern issues here. RSI is below 16, or at 16, I should say. Slow stochastics, really a coiled spring, getting ready to pop. Long red candlesticks, long red volume bars. This implies that you're seeing capitulation. Money flow, very, very negative, unsustainably negative. So either the stock goes bankrupt or it begins to consolidate and rally fairly soon. And that doesn't mean it won't roll over and head straight back down. So folks, when I go over these extreme oversold stocks, these are not investments by any stretch of the imagination. You make your money and you get out. Just like I did with, let's go back to the charts of Zoomies and CH. Zoomies, very, very oversold on RSI, below 15. At the time we started accumulating, we identified a support level where we knew it was safe to get in. We knew there were buyers back here. We began accumulating a position, and we made $3,600 in a few days, or 7% profit on our portfolio. What's wrong with booking profits ahead of the weekend, knowing where your resistance is? That's why the value is doing your homework, and I do it for you at the Contrarian Trade. I do that homework. All you need to do is watch a video and check your email for trade alerts. And that's it, folks. If you have any questions, please shoot me an email. But please make sure that you enter your email if you haven't already done so. Get alerted to when I send out my post-trade reviews so you can see how I trade. And you also receive some trading lessons on how I trade the Contrarian style. And you'll also receive, free of charge, my best stock pick videos as you're watching right now. And premium members, stay tuned for the week ahead commentary coming out tomorrow. And we'll really get in depth on our current holdings and these potential trades that we're looking to put on. And that's it, folks. Have a profitable week. Have a very Merry Christmas, the happiest and healthiest to your family, and all the best. Be well.